My husband came home, drunk again for the 5th time this week. "Nina, where's my food?" he demanded, his voice harsh. I heard plates shatter in the kitchen as I tried to get out of bed. My stomach had been bothering me since morning, making it hard to move. Another crash echoed from the kitchen, and I hurried toward him. "I'm sorry, I'll get it ready now," I said, trying to calm him. "I thought you were eating out with your workmates." He grabbed a glass and hurled it against a wall. I almost lost my footing as the glass shattered. "Even if I eat out, you should still have food ready. You're worthless. Go to hell." He stormed toward me and shoved me down. The pain in my stomach flared as I hit the floor. "This is all your fault. Every day I see how miserable my life is. A useless wife who can't even cook, let alone give me a child." He walked past me, heading to our bedroom. I stayed there on the floor, trying to endure the pain. Mark always does this. He never lets me forget how worthless I am in his eyes. Maybe he's right. I haven't been able to give him the one thing he wants most: a child. We've tried everything: medical treatments, spiritual advice, but still no baby. He blames me for everything. He says I'm the problem. I struggled to get up, nearly collapsing again as the pain in my lower abdomen surged. This pain has been haunting me all week, and my period is 5 days late. The next morning, I was preparing breakfast when the doorbell rang. I opened it to see one of my husband's co-workers. "Good morning, Mrs. Hayes." Mark left his phone in my car. I wanted to return it before he heads to the office. He might have an important call. "Thank you, Mr. Ortega. I'll make sure he gets it." "You're welcome. Take care." I heard my husband approaching, and when I turned to him, his face was dark with anger. "Hey, Mark, I brought your phone back. I'll see you at the office." Mark waved at his co-worker as he drove off, but the moment the car was out of sight, he grabbed me roughly. "What are you up to?" he yelled, his grip tightening. "Mark, you're hurting me," I said, trying to pull away. His eyes were wild as if I'd committed some terrible offense. "I saw how you smiled at Jake. Are you two having an affair?" he shouted again. "What? He was just returning your phone," and I smiled out of politeness. "What's wrong with that?" He slapped me hard across the face. My jaw went numb from the blow. "And now you're talking back. If I ever catch you doing something, I will kill you." He's threatening me. After that, he let go of me and walked out of the house, leaving me behind as if I meant nothing. I couldn't keep it together, and the next thing I knew, I collapsed. The faint touch of light on my eyelids made me stir. When I opened my eyes, a doctor was shining a flashlight in my face. He paused and smiled. "Ah, you're awake. Don't worry. You're in stable condition." I glanced around and realized I was in the hospital. Beside me, I saw my husband. "I'll leave you two alone. I'll be back when you're ready to be discharged, Mrs. Hayes." I nodded and looked at my husband. "What happened to me?" "You collapsed, and as a concerned husband, I brought you here. You should be grateful I still care enough to rush you to the hospital. It's your fault I was mad earlier, flirting with my coworker." "That's not true. I just answered your phone." "Lies. I won't let this go until I have proof." My heart pounded wildly. Why is he acting this way? Why is he accusing me of cheating? Mark has always been the jealous type, and when jealousy takes over, he loses control. I stayed silent because arguing back usually led to him either slapping me or throwing hurtful words. Hours passed in silence, both of us like shadows in the room. Finally, the doctor returned and said I was ready to be discharged. Before we left, he handed us an envelope. "Congratulations. You might want to open that when you get home." Curiosity gnawed at me, and as soon as we got home, I nearly dropped the envelope. When I saw the contents, I couldn't hold back my joy. Yes, I'm pregnant. The test results confirmed it, The doctor had run tests while I was unconscious. My husband stormed into the room, irritation etched on his face. "Can you be quiet?" he yelled. "Mark, I have good news." I reached for his hands, but he pushed me away. Maybe this news would change him completely. I handed him the results, my heart racing. This was the moment we had been waiting for. After almost 20 years of marriage, we were finally going to have a child. But now, as I turned 41, something incredible has finally happened. I'm expecting our first child. He stared at the test results for a moment, then tossed them in the trash. My eyes widened in shock. "Why? Why would you do that?" I quickly pulled the pregnancy test from the bin and held it up to him. "It's positive. I'm pregnant, love. We're going to have a baby," I said, my voice full of hope. But his reaction was nothing like mine. "Are you sure about that?" he asked, his tone cold. I couldn't understand his response. "Of course I am." The doctor confirmed it. He just stared at me, his expression blank, scanning me from head to toe. "You should go back and get checked again," he said, turning to leave. I grabbed his arm, desperate. "I don't need to. The result is clear. It's positive." "Oh, really? Have you lost your mind, woman?" "I haven't lost my mind. This is what we've always wanted." "Shut up. You're too old to have a child. Your skin is sagging. Your body looks like a slouching bear. Your hair is turning gray. Your whole existence is falling apart. If you were meant to have a child, you would have been pregnant years ago, right at the start of our marriage. But now, at 41, you expect me to believe this is my child." He grabbed the results and threw them to the floor, stomping on them. Then he yanked my hair, forcing my face down to the crumpled paper. "That's your fantasy, shattered." He dragged me down, and I cried out in pain. "I'm not imagining things. I'm really pregnant with our child. I'm not having that child. We did everything possible, remember? So why did it take this long? You're too old for this. Maybe you cheated and got yourself pregnant. I was stunned by his words. I thought his accusations were just out of jealousy, but now he's claiming I've been unfaithful. You have no idea how much I've endured from you. Do you think I didn't want a child? Do you think I enjoyed waking up every day, childless? I've waited so long for this moment, and now you're accusing me of an affair. With who?" I couldn't hold back my emotions anymore. "With Jake? I saw you smiling at him earlier. I bet you two planned this." My legs gave out, and I collapsed to the floor. I couldn't believe what he was saying. None of it was true. Panic set in as he kept insisting the baby wasn't his. I could never be with another man. Even with all his mistreatment, I've always been faithful. I stood by his side through everything. I thought he'd be thrilled about the baby. We'd waited so long for this moment, and it was finally here. But now he's rejecting it. He knelt down, holding my chin, and stared into my eyes. "This isn't my child," he said. Then he pushed me to the floor and left. I broke down, clutching my baby bump, in shock at this new life inside me. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. I thought we'd be happy together. I begged him not to leave, but he slammed the bedroom door, and that was the end. He left us. It was just me and my baby. My aunt came to help, staying with me until I gave birth. For those 9 months, I didn't hear a word from him, except for the rumors he spread about me cheating. He even pulled a coworker into his lies, ruining their friendship, but it meant nothing to him, just as we meant nothing. When the day came, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl. The doctor said it was a miracle I could have a child at my age without complications. I held my baby close. She was beautiful, even then. She had Mark's nose. "I'll call you Miracle," I whispered. My aunt hugged us both. "Don't worry, Dina. I'll always be here for you." 13 years have passed, and life is good with my daughter by my side. My aunt's help with finances made all the difference. I work hard, both as an office clerk and an international tutor, to give Miracle a bright future. She's grown into a loving, charming, and beautiful young girl, the greatest gift I've ever received. Despite everything, I'm grateful we have each other. I heard my husband is thriving as a chief engineer. It shocked me that he never filed for divorce, even though he easily could have. One evening, we were having dinner when my aunt came home late, her face full of excitement. "Dina, miracle, I have great news." "What is it?" She handed me a brochure and showed me something on her phone. "It's a casting audition for new actresses in a high-budget movie, and Miracle meets all the qualifications." My eyes widened when I realized my daughter was perfect for the role they were seeking. Tall, beautiful, with long black hair, a good singing voice, and a charming personality. I turned to her. "My love, do you want to audition?" Her smile was wide and full of pure joy. "Yes, Mother, I would love to." The next day, we went straight to the audition venue. There were so many girls lined up, but I knew in my heart that my baby had what it took. And for the lead role, the talented girl who will embody Princess Aria's character is Miracle. I cheeped so loudly that everyone turned to look at me. The audition lasted 7 hours, and then the casting director announced who got the roles. And for the lead role, the talented girl who will embody Princess Aria's character is Miracle. I cheered so loudly that everyone turned to look at me. I didn't care. My daughter was going to be a star. Filming started the very next day, and I accompanied her every single day. I was amazed by how naturally talented she was and how easily she worked with everyone. We received so many compliments from the directors and veteran actors. Miracle is such a prodigy. The future is bright for her. She's a miracle, one of the actresses said to me. My heart swelled with pride at the praise for my daughter. Months passed, and the movie premiered. It became an instant hit, and my daughter's fame skyrocketed overnight. She was praised for her acting skills. A clip of her in one of the movie's emotional scenes went viral, and everyone was talking about her incredible talent. Her influence grew, and she amazed me even more when she decided to use a portion of her earnings to buy a small, old engineering company's building, turning it into a home for homeless children. "Mom, I'm so happy I could share my talent with the world and use it for something good. I am so proud of you, my little one. You never cease to amaze me. The world is lucky to have your talent." I hugged her tightly as we sat together in our living room. She buried her face into my chest, and I wanted her to know just how much I love her. As I looked around, I saw how our lives had changed, moving from the struggles and mistreatment I endured with my husband to this beautiful life with my daughter. I can honestly say, I wouldn't trade this for anything in the world. We were enjoying each other's company, laughing and talking, when I heard a knock at the front door. One of our maids quickly opened it, and suddenly, loud voices filled the air. "Sir, you're not allowed inside. This is private property. You have no right." "I have every right to step into this house." "You're trespassing." The moment I heard that, I rushed to see what was happening. "What is this all about, Mark?" My heart nearly stopped when I saw him. He looked so different. When he saw me, he rushed over, but the security guard blocked his path. "Sir, you're crossing the line." "Please," he pleaded, but the guard kept pushing him back, and Mark tried to break free. Then Miracle stepped beside me, and Mark froze. He stared at her, tears streaming down his face. Miracle clung to my arm, hiding behind me. Mark moved closer, and I signaled the guard to let him through. As soon as he reached us, he dropped to his knees. Seeing him like that took me back to the days when I was in his shoes. "I'm so sorry for everything I've done to you, my love. I will forever regret all the terrible things I did. Please forgive me. Please take me back," he cried, bowing his face to the ground. His sobs were deep, like he had lost everything. He looked at me, then at our daughter. "My child, look at you. You've grown so much. I saw how amazing you were on TV. When I realized it was you, I couldn't stop crying, thinking about how much I've missed. I'm so sorry for abandoning you. You disowned me." Mark's tears fell harder when he heard our daughter's words. The regret in his voice was clear. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You left us with nothing. You treated Mother like she was nothing to you. You never claimed me as your child because, to you, my life meant nothing. I squeezed my daughter's hand, trying to calm her down. Mark kept crying. Please help me. I have nowhere else to go. And now you come back because you're the one with nothing. Where were you when we needed you? I lost everything. My family, my career, my money, my engineering company. It's all gone. When he said that, something clicked in my mind. You owned that engineering company, didn't you? I don't own it anymore. Someone bought it for charity. I gasped at his words. Even at his lowest, he was still arrogant and disrespectful. I bought it. I bought your company for charity, my daughter clarified. Mark's eyes widened as he realized the truth. He will never have our forgiveness. If you want forgiveness, you need to earn it. Learn from your mistakes and become a better person. I'm glad a man like you didn't raise me. You've lost the chance to get your family back, your life back, to be exact. After my daughter said those words, she went inside, leaving me standing over Mark. I didn't feel pity, just a sense of peace. The trauma he caused us was finally behind me. You've lost everything, Mark. Guards, take him away. He's not welcome here again. The security guards escorted Mark away, and from that moment, Miracle and I poured ourselves into growing the charity foundation we had started. My daughter became not just famous but truly influential. We never saw Mark again, and I'll never consider his forgiveness until he learns to forgive himself for what he did to us.